Welcome back to another episode of Sailing Search.
So what we wish we were doing is this.
To do the things you gotta do. Always moving forward, always on the go. I hope you take a moment to take it slow. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Baby, take a break, it'll be okay. Let me be the one to ease your pain.
But what we actually doing is this. So, Colvin, you can't see it, but we've got the tabletop for our cockpit. The men decided they'd try their hand at making a fiberglass mold, and yeah, it's sitting in front of us, so that's going to be coming up in one of the episodes. That wasn't the best outcome, but yeah, stay tuned for the next few episodes and you'll see what you can let us know what you think. So yeah, we're very busy at the moment. We aren't outside today because we have gale force winds, so we are staying inside with the heater on and warm.
So in this time during lockdown, we had our crash lockers that did not have watertight hatch lids on them. And basically what a crash locker does is if you do have to collide with anything in open ocean or anywhere for that matter, it's a sealed off...
Touch wood, that doesn't happen.
It's a sealed off part of the hull, so it'll take the initial impact of the boat and it will fill up with water if it breaks through the fiberglass, but it's completely sealed off to the rest of the boat, so the boat will not sink. It will just fill up that little compartment, and that's the most of the damage depending on how bad it is. There were big holes that we needed to put hatch lids on top to make them sealed, and so we did that during this time. Yeah, and you can see that in this video over here, there, or whichever way. We seeked those in and they look pretty good, and I think those hatches up in the bow we'll probably use for fenders or spare docking lines. Whatever else doesn't really need to be close by while we're sailing. And they're very spacious. Okay, so we just finished putting in our little watertight hatches on our hatch lids inside our crash lockers. And yeah, they came out pretty well. Yeah, here they are. Basically, this is just an empty expanse inside the very front of the bow, which is supposed to be watertight, so that if you do ever crash into anything, that little hatch there will fill up with water and not the rest of the boat. In theory. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in those hatches because each hatch lid has got, I think it's like 12 or 15 bolts going through. And getting in there as a 6-foot person, it's quite tricky.
But it's good storage, eh?
Yeah, it's very, very big in there considering the size of the hatch. Yeah. Very deep as well. So with a lot of the finishes in the cabins going in now, with a lot of cupboard faces and cupboards and stuff, we started looking at where we want to put lights and light switches and really the finishing touches in all the cabins. So what Robin had done was he made up a whole bunch of like teak frames, or well, it's not teak frames but wooden frames.
Meranti.
We used Meranti, but we painted it white, so it doesn't matter. And that is basically gonna, instead of having a wall mounted light switch that sticks out because it's got a, obviously we can't cut a hole in the bulkhead, so we made a frame so that I wish I had one. Instead of having this thing stuck to the wall, you now have a nice neat little white frame that the plug sits flush on, and it looks a lot better than a big white AV box. So we've started focusing on a lot of the electrics, and we've put in a lot of trunking and wiring for lights and that sort of thing. Everything, all the lights that we've put in for now are just temporary because we haven't put our ceiling boards in yet, and obviously the lights that will go in will be a lot better looking. But it's just, we've run all the wires for where they're going to go, and all the plugs and stuff and the plug sockets are all going in as well at the same time.
So we're looking all snazzy in our cabin, and Colvin's still got the others to go. It took him about...
Took me a day and a half.
No, it took about 3 days with a lot of cursing and swear words and all sorts of stuff flying around for 3 days. You can see in the one video his t-shirt's inside out, and he just couldn't care. He lost all the care in the world when he started electrical work.
Finished wiring up our bedside lights, and what we've done is run a little bit of trunking from inside the shelf here along there to where the wires go, and then we're going to have a light on the far side of the bed because there's only one at the moment. We're going to have one on the other side just connecting into those same wires, and we'll run those wires through the headboard. And now we should be able to fit our escape hatch frame over here, because this does look a little bit
the trunking is very neat underneath.
You don't see it unless you're looking for it. Yeah, so now we can get our frame that goes around here in, and it'll look even more complete.
These are the 12 volt lights we are using in the cabins. They are LED, so use practically no electricity, nice and compact, and they each have their own switch, so if someone in the room wants to go to sleep and the other one wants to carry on reading, they can keep their light on and their partner can switch theirs off. Nice and small, compact, and will be put onto the walls. I'm pretty sure Cleo plots 1,000 ways to kill us while we're sleeping. She likes to stare at us like this for about 20 minutes before she settles down to sleep.
So we have on Saoirse, we have a Dometic aircon. I'm not too sure the exact specs of it, but basically it sits in this, I don't know if you can see, it's actually behind this board here that's not painted yet. Okay, but it's in there, and basically what happens is it's got its very own skin fitting at the bottom of the boat, the hull, and a pump which pumps water, so it's cooled by seawater basically, and it sucks up seawater, which goes through a series of filters and stuff, goes into the aircon and cools the aircon, and then that water is then pumped out through the skin fitting, which is just above waterline. And so what we did was the aircon comes with a little outlet for the air, and we didn't really have all the parts for it, so we made our own little thing that fitting that fits on top of the aircon with some decent sized piping, which then comes out of here. Get it out.
What are you up to, Colin?
We're just busy trying to seal off the vent pipe for the aircon, and so this is where this little goodie mounts onto inside here, and we're just going to secure that down and then hopefully have an aircon
Slash heater.
not that we
For
need it
winter.
in this part of the world.
But we'll need the heater come winter time.
Yeah, if we have winter. And so what we did was we added a T-piece, just a plumbing T-piece, so that we can have air going in 3 directions basically. So it won't be a lot of air. The majority of the air will be coming out of that piece up there, but we've taken pipes down to the stairways leading into each hull. So basically on very hot days and stuff, when we do want to run the aircon, we will at least get some cool air. It won't be a lot, but going down the stairs to the cabins. So we've got all of that in there as well.
And it also works as a heater, so in winter, which we're going through
It's just,
at the moment, it's very helpful.
So in a lot of videos you'll see us using a hammer and just pushing the seeker, or what we call it, it's seeker. We've got lots of canisters of seeker, different purposes and stuff. And so basically the reason we do that is because we seem to break every single caulking gun we have. I don't know what it is about seeker, maybe it's just the consistency that's a lot thicker than marine silicone or anything like that, but every single trigger on every gun we've had is just bent or broken or something. We've got a new one and it seems to be holding up. It's a lot bulkier than the other ones, but
during lockdown, when he was fitting the aircon unit, we didn't have access to hardware stores, so of course we had to make a plan with how we got our seeker.
So we've begun neatening up all the wiring and pipes and stuff on the boat, and so in the rush to get the boat on the water before our wedding, everything was kind of just fitted loosely and not actually put in organised and stuff. So as you can see here, this is our aircon gear here. This is a little filter, and there's a lot of wires and stuff running all the way around. The pipes and everything's just kind of jumbled up. We really just want to neaten that up and get all the wires into trunking and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what we're going to start with. And here is our Blackwater tanks, if you guys haven't seen those before. And that will go to skin fitting if we want to put it out the boat. And here's our jab scope pump, which will pump it out the boat. This bad boy over here. At the moment I'm just trying to organise the aircon wiring and pipes for the aircon and the transducers and stuff, which are all jumbled between each other. Become our commercial diver, and the water temperature at the moment is probably about 16 degrees, and yeah, this is what happens when we drop some tools overboard in the marina. As you can see, the dock is quite full of stuff, so it's the inevitable really. And
I do get paid for this, right?
good thing is Denver didn't even have to pick the short straw, he picked it himself. So,
And now he wants payment.
yeah, but I'm sure you'll be alright. He's got 7 mils of wetsuit, and yeah, let's see if he comes out blue. So the wetsuit is 7 mils, 7 mil bottoms, 5 mil top, and it's so buoyant that he's had to put some weights inside the BCD because we don't have any weight belts on board, unfortunately, and just to give himself a little bit of weight so that he can get down. We've also got a weight on the bottom here so he can pull himself down. So yeah, let's check it out.
So Colbin was uber excited because the cat was being super cute and he had to come tell us, so he turned very quickly out of the room and hit his head so hard on the door frame. Look at that egg on his head.
But say how often he does this.
This is definitely in the top 2 of head smashes.
The top 2 in the last 200 hits.
Yeah.
No, the first one was bad. Phew.
Yeah, but there's been another 200 less severe ones.
That one we didn't even have a round door frame one, so it was just like solid square door frame, like right to the top of my head, like a dent.
Next week's episode we take you through our first winter storm. We didn't want to be here for it, but it came, and I'm guessing it's the first of many to come. So we are trying to get the yacht ready for whenever we are informed that we are able to move. We want to be able to just pack and get heading over to Durban.
Yeah, being on the west coast of South Africa, we basically, Langawan especially, and this whole marine park here gets battered by storms. It's the first hit so we get all our cold fronts and storms, winter storms from the west, and basically each storm hits the west coast before anywhere else in the country, and
It's cold and rainy and windy, and it's not where we want to be. So as soon as we can head, we're gonna get going.
Thank you for watching with us. If you enjoyed our video, please give it a like, and if you have any questions, leave a comment below. See you next week.